In a small, cozy house under an old oak tree lived a little mouse. Her fur was soft and gray, and her eyes sparkled like tiny drops of dew. Every evening, when the sun began to hide behind the horizon, the mouse would gather her little lantern and quietly step out of her burrow to watch the stars. She loved watching as one by one the lights appeared in the sky, like tiny lanterns left for night travelers. Sometimes she softly whispered her wishes to them. "Let tomorrow be a sunny day. Let my mother find her cheerful mood." But most of all, the mouse loved listening to the whispers of the forest. The wind rustled through the leaves, an owl quietly flew between the branches, and the stream under the oak gently gurgled as if telling its old stories. The mouse closed her eyes and imagined floating on a little leaf along the stream, the water softly lulling her like a gentle blanket. One evening, when the moon was already peeking into her burrow, the mouse noticed something unusual, a tiny golden light flickering among the grass. She carefully approached, and before her lay a tiny little star softly twinkling. The star was so light that the mouse could lift it with just the tips of her fingers. The mouse realized that this was her chance to embark on a special journey to a place where dreams come true and sleep arrives gently and softly like a fluffy cloud blanket. The mouse carefully placed the golden star on her tiny paw, and suddenly her burrow began to softly glow with a gentle light. In the next moment, the mouse felt as if the floor beneath her had vanished, and she slowly, as if on a cloud, rose into the air. The wind gently embraced her, and the light of the star illuminated the path like a little lantern in the dark. She flew over the forest, where every branch and leaf was magically lit by the moonlight. Owls and hedgehogs quietly greeted her, and a little owl even turned its shiny eyes toward her, as if to say, "Welcome to the night's wonder." Suddenly, the mouse noticed a field sprinkled with tiny fireflies. They danced in the air, creating soft patterns like glowing clouds. The mouse settled on the grass and listened as the fireflies softly chimed with their tiny bells. "How beautiful!" thought the mouse. She closed her eyes and felt sleep come to her naturally, light, soft and warm, like a summer evening in a meadow. But then the star on her paw sparkled especially brightly. It seemed to whisper to the mouse, "There's still a place worth visiting." The mouse smiled and softly said, "I'll go see what's there." And as the forest slowly sank into silence, the mouse realized that new little wonders awaited her ahead, gentle and kind, like a cloud you could sleep on. The mouse gently rose from the grass, holding the golden star on her paw, and noticed ahead a small path, as if paved with soft light. She walked along it, and each step gently gave way beneath her paws, like a fluffy, soft carpet. The path led to a magical lake that glowed in all the colors of the night, blue, purple, silver. On the lake floated tiny moonlit boats made of delicate petals and glowing with a soft light. The mouse sat on the edge of one boat, and it gently carried her across the water. The water didn't splash. It was soft and warm, like a little cloud holding her in its hands. Along the way, the mouse met forest friends, a hedgehog with a tiny candle on its back, a squirrel nimbly jumping across glowing branches, and even a little bunny quietly humming a song so no one would wake. They all smiled at the mouse, and she felt that in this magical world everyone could be a friend. The golden star on the mouse's paw trembled slightly and suddenly transformed into a soft glow, wrapping her like a warm blanket. The mouse closed her eyes and felt her little heart fill with calm. The wind, water, and light all became one gentle stream, quietly lulling her. And then the mouse realized, wherever she flies, in this dream world, there will always be a place for warmth, light, and kind friends. All you have to do is close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let yourself drift along with the stars. The little boat floated quietly across the shimmering lake, and the mouse looked around. Soft moonlight hung over the water, and a gentle breeze swayed the silvery blades of grass. Suddenly, ahead, she spotted a tiny island covered in fluffy flowers that glowed like little lanterns. The mouse hopped onto the island and immediately felt an incredible sense of calm. The soft grass rustled under her paws, the flowers gently swayed, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of honey and vanilla. She sat among the flowers, and the golden star transformed into a warm, glowing circle, wrapping her like a cozy blanket. On this island, there were no sounds of worry or hurry, only the soft rustle of leaves, the quiet babble of a little stream, and gentle light that caressed her eyes. The mouse yawned, curled up, and thought, "It's so peaceful here. I can close my eyes and just drift through dreams." As she drifted off, the stars in the sky whispered little magical stories about flying hedgehogs, streams that sing lullabies, and fireflies that can draw patterns in the night sky. The mouse listened, and every sound lulled her more deeply until she sank into a soft sleep where everything was warm, bright, and kind. And so, on her little island among the glowing flowers, the mouse realized the world is full of magic, but the greatest wonder of all is the feeling of peace and comfort that can always be found within oneself. The mouse slept on her fluffy little island, but in her dream she was gently lifted onto a glowing cloud stream. The clouds were like soft pillows, each swaying slightly as if guided by an invisible melody. The mouse slid quietly over them as if riding magical slides, feeling nothing but warmth and calm. Suddenly, from the clouds emerged a tiny moonlit owl with sparkling eyes, softly saying, "Come with me, I'll show you a place where dreams become especially kind." The mouse nodded, and together they glided through soft light where the clouds shimmered in all the colors of sunset. Along the way, they met cloud kittens lazily playing with fireflies and fluffy bunnies hopping from cloud to cloud. Everyone smiled at the mouse and waved their paws. It felt as if nothing could disturb her sleep. Here there was only joy, softness, and peace. Finally, they arrived at the largest cloud, glowing with golden and pink light. The mouse nestled right in its center, like on the softest pillow, feeling her little heart fill with calm. The wind whispered a quiet lullaby. Fireflies danced around in gentle patterns, and the moonlit owl perched nearby, guarding her sleep. The mouse closed her eyes, and the entire world around her dissolved into soft radiance, leaving only a sense of warmth and coziness. She knew now she could drift through dreams, meet wonders and friends, and when she woke, smile at the world and be ready for a new day. After spending some time on the soft cloud, the golden star on her paw glowed gently and softly spoke. It's time to return home, to the place where warmth and comfort await you. The mouse smiled, hugging the star with her paws, and once again rose onto the cloud stream, which slowly carried her back through the night sky. The clouds swayed gently beneath her paws, and the moonlit owl flew beside her, quietly humming a melody only the mouse could hear. She saw the familiar forest again, shimmering streams and quiet paths where fireflies wandered. Everything around seemed magical, yet so familiar and safe. Finally, the mouse descended into her little burrow under the old oak. She settled comfortably on the soft grass, wrapped herself in a warm leaf blanket, and snuggled into the cozy corner of her home. The golden star lay beside her, softly twinkling as if guarding her sleep. The wind outside whispered through the branches, the stream babbled a gentle lullaby, and the moon peeked into the burrow with its soft light. The mouse closed her eyes, and the world fell into calm. It was warm, cozy, and safe, and all the magical adventures stayed in her heart, quietly lulling her into a sweet sleep. The mouse curled up snugly on her grassy pillow, the golden star beside her softly twinkling. The moon watched over her from the sky, the wind gently rustled the leaves, and the little stream quietly sang a lullaby. And as the mouse drifted off to sleep, the whole world seemed to whisper, "Sleep peacefully. Dream of kind wonders. Morning will bring new smiles." With every breath, she sank deeper into a soft, warm sleep, surrounded only by light, warmth, and calm.